Привit!
Bonjour!
Hey everybody, welcome to the Morning Brew, Season 1, Episode 30, a Yeg music production. We are your hosts. I'm Marissa K.
I'm Millie Rouge.
And are you ready, kids?
Aye, aye, Captain!
I can hear you. Oh!
My roots are like, shut up.
My favorite thing,
They don't get
annoying everyone around me.
and Bikini Bottom. I love to annoy my neighbors.
We see the underwater sponge and his friend.
And he is bothering Squidward again.
A few moments later.
That's my favorite. 3,465 days later. I love that.
Oh, boy.
I was talking to one of my roommates,
Mm-hmm.
speaking of roommates, and he said he didn't watch that show. And I was like,
hold on. Matt's never seen SpongeBob.
Yes.
Okay, Matt, I'm calling you out in this Morning Brew right now.
I know.
Matt, you need to watch SpongeBob. How dare you?
I know. He's like, I don't know. I think he said he didn't really like it. And I was just like,
SpongeBob's a classic, though.
yeah, it's like across
Absolutely
generations.
Yeah,
Across
like that theme
amazing.
song. The dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun. The jellyfish episode where, yeah.
I love that one.
Yeah.
I love so many episodes of that show. Like I'm not a huge I guess I did watch a lot of TV as a kid, but like that was like my favorite show. And like even watching it now, it's still funny. Like the humor stays the same with me. It doesn't I'm not like, oh, that's kind of lame. I don't know why I like this show. Like it's still funny. I love that show. I think it's a great show.
It is a good show, and I think
it's
it goes
running.
underappreciated. I don't know if it's still running.
I think it's on like season. That's what I've heard. Maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe it is. I'm not entirely sure, but that one.
Have
I used to watch that one. I used to watch Fairly Odd Parents.
Yes, that was I was obsessed with that show. I don't know why, but I was obsessed.
Yes.
I had like Fairly Odd Parents decor in my room.
Okay, wow, that's.
I don't know why.
I don't have that.
I don't know why. It's still going, Marissa. That from 1999 to present. Sorry.
That show's from the 90s?
1999 to now. That's 21 years of airing.
Oh my god.
Anyways.
I didn't realize it came out in 1999. I thought it came out in like 2005.
I kind of thought that too.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But I guess it makes sense considering the era that it came out in. You could not make a show like that now. I feel like people wouldn't be down with it now.
Yeah.
Actually,
they still like it now, but
yeah. Fun fact about SpongeBob. It actually started off as like this thing called Sponge Boy, I think. And he wasn't a square sponge. He was just like a regular old sponge, and it was just following the adventure. It started off as like a graphic novel.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ask me how I know this, but I may have watched a couple video essays.
Yeah, on it.
On like art cartoons and artists and stuff. But and then it kind of evolved into this thing, and then they did this like mini short about like SpongeBob, and then that just the network picked it up and they ran with it, which is
cool.
Really cool. Yeah, it's insane. It's such an iconic show. How dare you disrespect SpongeBob like that?
I've never heard anyone say they don't like SpongeBob. Like, actually, funny enough, I was watching a Grey's Anatomy episode this week, and they had a firefighter come in, and he was like, being rolled in on a stretcher, and he's like, I killed that person. And his voice, I was like, what is that voice? And he's like, I killed him. I was like, oh my God, that is Patrick. That is Patrick Star.
Oh my God.
I was amazed.
My favorite thing to see is when voice actors do the voices of the characters, and you like see what they actually look like when they do the voices. I think it's like the most interesting thing in the world. Like when I watch, what's her name? Nancy Cartwright, who does this show, like who does Bart Simpson.
She does a lot of people. Yeah.
She does like, she does. No, I don't know if she does Timmy Turner. That's a different person. I know who you're thinking of.
Oh.
No. She does Timmy Turner. She also did Tommy from Rugrats.
Oh, okay. I think that's what it is.
But that's not Nancy Cartwright. Nancy Cartwright does like Bart Simpson, Rod or Todd Flanders, Nelson, Ralph. I don't know.
So
I could
many
list
people.
off. I'm very passionate about
Yeah.
about like art and animation and voice acting. I think it's really cool. Like I would love to go into voice acting at some point. I think it would be so interesting. I would love to try
It
it
would be
at
fun.
one point.
It's super
Like
fun.
it would be so cool. I'd like if somebody approached me and was like, "Hey, I'm writing this cartoon. I need an actress." I'd be like, "Sign me up. Let me do it.
Heck
I want to
yeah.
try."
Well, I wonder if there's like for the famous TV shows, if there's like high credentials that you have to like be on the
Oh,
show.
100%. You definitely do. It's
Yeah.
very easy to sound bad with voice acting.
That's true.
I'll have to send you a video. It's like of this one guy who's talking about just like really, really bad like dubs. And
Yeah.
he's just like, clearly they just didn't care because either that or it was written in a different language because the characters' mouths do this and they're like, and they just like do that.
Oh, that's great.
That's what
That's
they do in
amazing.
Japanese animation where they're just like, oh no, we
Yeah.
can't go there. Ah, and they just because there's not enough like English words to finish the sentence, so they just go ah.
It's so great.
Next time you watch Sailor Moon, just watch. You'll see what
Yeah,
I
I
mean.
want to watch Sailor Moon. Actually, I was told I was going to watch it last night, and I never did.
Mm.
Wow, how disrespectful. Speaking of disrespect, this goes on to our topic of the day. That had no tie-in, but I was just trying to make it work.
No, it's because people be disrespecting him.
Oh, yeah, because put my money on, no, what? No, there's a line where Drake says the word
You got it.
disrespect.
You
I
got
know
it.
there is. Chris, help me out here. Put money on my grave. I don't know. Wow, this is going to be a great morning brew. I know so much about this artist, clearly. No, I know there's a song where he says disrespect. But anyhow.
Wait. Oh, I got it. Yeah, I'm working on dying. I'm upset. 50,000 on my
Oh,
head. It's
yeah.
disrespect.
I'm upset. 50,000 on my something disrespect. Yeah.
So offended that I had to double check. I'ma always take the money over. Anyway,
Checks. Isn't
over
that
texts. No, that's not the word.
Oh.
Anyway.
It's inappropriate.
Inappropriate.
Well, anyways, our topic of today is
Drake's new album.
yeah. So Drake's new album gets a grade from
Yes.
us.
Which is really interesting because I don't know if you could tell from the everything about me, but I don't normally listen to Drake. So
Everything about me.
the white face, the blonde hair, the blue eyes.
You know,
I don't
there's
know
a
if
lot
you
of
can.
white girls that listen to Drake that
That's
have blonde
fair,
hair
I
and blue
guess.
eyes.
But I mean, you know the kind of music I normally listen to. So I
Yeah.
mean,
Compared to
again,
someone who listens to Disney music and like Sarah Bareilles and like Charlene Cannon are like, kind of makes
well, and it's interesting though because like I said, I don't normally listen to. It's not because I have anything against his music. I think he's great and he's really talented and insane and he creates all these amazing songs that are really relatable.
Yeah.
But it's just like if I was gonna go to sit down to like jam out to songs, I wouldn't go to Drake. I would just go to a different person. But listening to this album though, I was kind of digging it. I was like super feeling it with a lot of these songs. And like I'm the kind of person where I try to find something I like in every single genre. So like I might not be the person who's like I like every genre because that can't be true because there's too many. There's too many. You're gonna dislike one. But I try to find something that I like within a genre or within an album or within a song. I can usually find something that I like at least. So I did find a couple things that I liked about this album. There's some like really cool like sonic stuff that he did. Just like soundscape wise, I think was really, really cool.
Yeah. I wrote down some really interesting sound samples, so kind of on the same line you were saying, just like the use of the sounds that you would never think would sound good the way they are sounded pretty cool the way he threw them into songs.
Well, and that's the other thing that always fascinates me with like this genre of music. Is that they just it's sometimes I'm sitting there and I'm just thinking of like the beats that they're creating and the kind of harmonic content that they're using and all those different sounds and how they're putting all these filters on them or what they're putting them through. And I'm just like, how the hell do they come up with this?
I know.
I'm just like, how? Because like my brain is just so stuck in like I'm going to write a song on an instrument. So like the fact that someone's like, I'm going to create a beat on a software, I'm like, holy
Mm,
crap. I'm like, how do
yeah.
you do that and not have it sound like GarageBand?
Yeah.
Because it's insane to me and it's amazing.
Yeah, I think that too. Like, I think especially like those weird obscure noises. Like, I know we're recently working on a track where there's this one noise. It's like a whew. I can't even do the
Yeah.
sound properly,
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
like it's weird. But like at the beginning, when you hear the noise, you're kind of like, and that's how I feel like it'd be like with Drake. If I was Drake and I was in his shoes for like a day and he was recording, I would feel like initially those first kind of like sound effects would be kind of like, but then you add more things, you layer more things, and then it starts to just work somehow. But it's
Yeah.
interesting how they throw it in.
Well, and that's the other thing too, is like I'm interested to know kind of like what goes through the brain of the producer, like kind of
Hmm.
what brings them to that creative end.
Yeah, yeah.
Just like again, like I said, like the whole creative process in writing a beat is just, it boggles my mind, and I think it's
Yeah.
so crazy that people can do that, and I think it's
Hmm.
amazing, and it doesn't get enough recognition.
Yeah.
Like I feel like people are too, myself included, I used to be like this, um where people were too quick to dismiss like
Yeah.
producers and beats and tracks and stuff, and I was
Rap and
like,
hip hop.
oh, they're singing with a track, like ugh, it's so lazy. But then when I actually like looked into everything,
It's actually really
and I
cool.
looked into how they create these things, and I looked into how they perform it live, I'm like, holy crap, I could never do
Hmm.
that. That's insane.
Yeah, honestly.
um Insane in a good way, like insane, like y'all are amazing
Yeah.
kind of way.
Yeah. I actually wrote down Drake is the king of sad boy anthems.
Heck yes. Literally has a song called Pain 1993. I'm like, yep, that's the year I was
Pain
born.
since
I was
birth.
born and then pain.
But like I think this is obviously like on this album it was a theme I kind of saw, but this is always like this is a persistent Drake theme, is that he's like the king of sad boy bops and anthems, but he just like he makes it work. And I think that's what people kind of know about him, is that they can expect those like Drake ballads, not that they're really ballads, but if you will, like those Drake kind of in your feels kind of songs.
Hmm.
So that's something I really liked. um I found a lot of the things I was missing in this album that I was wanting more is I wanted more diversity in Drake's range, which I don't know if
Hmm.
I don't think that's what he typically does, to be honest. Um, but I wanted to hear more, just a different pitch. A lot of it is I would literally go from song to song and be like, that's the exact same pitch. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I guess, yeah,
It is a
I
different
agree with that
genre,
as,
so
yeah, I agree with that as well. And I agree and I disagree for different
mhm.
reasons. I agree because I just sonically, I just want some variety.
Yeah,
That's just what my ear wants.
yeah,
But that being said, I don't know if it would take away from what he's trying
mm,
to say.
yeah,
Because I feel like when people do that, when they do the da 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 da, that's because it's mostly about what the lyrics that they're saying. It's not
yeah.
about the melody.
Hmm.
But then when I think about it, I'm like, okay, well then why don't you just rap? Like, why are you just singing one note?
Hmm.
So I don't know what the purpose of it is, but that's why I say I
Yeah,
agree and I disagree.
there's probably maybe a stylistic thing I don't know about. And if I obviously sat down with Drake and was like, why do you sing on one tone only? He would probably have a good reason. But I actually, in comparison to what I didn't like, I actually liked his diversity in his rhythmic delivery.
Hmm.
So throughout the whole album, there was a lot of rhythmic changes. A lot of it was the same kind of similar tone, but the rhythmic delivery and like the flow of his rap or certain lyrics was really interesting, and it kind of made each song their own unique thing. That's what I
Hmm.
thought.
Yeah, I really dug, like all, like you said, like I really dug the samples behind
Mhm.
everything. Um, and the specific one, sorry, I was just looking up to see which one I was actually thinking of.
Yeah.
It was Chicago Freestyle. That was one of my favorite ones
Yeah,
from
that
the
one's
album.
really good.
Yeah. Just like I just love that background section, the da, 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 da. Like
Hmm.
as you can tell, you know me. I like the lines that go like high and then they come low, and then that's just me. I
Yeah.
love that. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, and I mean, like there's some of the other, like I guess content wise of some of these songs, um, like Deep Pockets, for example, like that's a great one.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but like I really like the songs where he's just like, basically the message is just, you're not doing the work, so you're not going to get where I'm getting, kind of
Mhm.
thing. And like I
Yeah.
know a lot of rappers do that because they have a lot of the same similar mindset, which I
Yeah.
find is just really cool.
Yeah.
And when I listen to it, I feel like, yeah, you're right, Drake, you're right. Like,
That's a very good point, actually. He does kind of preach that a lot of like, yeah, like I did this work, I put in this amount of work, and you are sitting here thinking you can just take my success, and you're just like, yeah.
well, and it's one of those other things too, where it's just like, don't expect to get where I'm getting if you're not willing to put in the work to get there, kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Or even like that whole, what did Will Smith say? It's like, if you're not around during my struggle, don't expect to be around during my success, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
And I mean, I think that really rings true for Drake, especially just because I hear it time and again in all of his music.
Hmm.
And part of me is just like, damn, Drake, who hurt you? But
Yeah. A lot of people, it sounds like.
yeah, it sounds, yeah, I mean, but I think it's like, and I think that's why a lot of people are drawn to Drake,
Yeah.
is because he has that kind of vulnerability in his music that
Mm.
I don't want to say not a lot of people have, because it's very present in, like, I've heard a lot of indie artists sound very
Yeah.
similar.
Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely.
Not saying that they're imitating him, but just like that kind of, that vibe and that style.
Hmm.
But I think that's why a lot of people are drawn to Drake specifically, is because he's very open about that.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about this before. Like, it's
Yeah.
not a very common thing in this genre of music to talk about your feelings and say like,
No.
you hurt me. Like that one song where it's just like, pain I haven't felt in a really long time. It's just pain. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, I get it. I feel it.
Yeah, he's the king, man. He's the king of being in his feelings. And I think he's pretty, well, I mean, there's probably more artists that are open about it too, but he's one of the more frontal artists that's like pretty honest about, how he feels. And I think that's another reason why people also respect him / admire him too.
Hmm.
Um, I noticed in one of his songs called Desires, it really reminded me of like the old early on Drake era, which I thought was really cool that he's still kind of, and I mean, your genre usually will typically stick with you for a while, but a lot of artists do eventually evolve. But I thought it was kind of cool that he brought back kind of that feel of like his very, very early on work of what he kind of got famous for and all that. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought out of the entire album, I thought that was the most Drake sounding
Yeah.
song.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
da 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 da, like
Yeah.
that whole,
Da 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 da
yeah.
da 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 da.
I don't wear the hotline bling.
Yeah.
Anyway, also the fact that they referenced that in one of the other songs too, which is really,
Mhm.
I was like, hey, reference.
Speaking of
I get it.
references, actually, I really love his frequent reference, and this is like throughout most of his Drake albums, to the Six, and how he has this like affinite love to like Toronto, and how he always, well, and Canada, I think in general, but he'll always mention the Six, and the Six is what always gets talked about, and they say that one phrase like, I know a lot of tings, and apparently tings is a Toronto thing. Like I've never said that in Alberta, to be honest, but apparently in Toronto, saying tings is a very common phrase that
Oh,
they say. So a lot of reference to the Six, and I know there's a lot of reference to that phrase tings, which I thought was really cool, because it's cool
interesting.
when you see an artist rep their hometown a little bit, or their culture, or whatever, if you will.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really cool. I didn't know that about Toronto. I feel
Mm.
like that maybe that's just like something you have to know,
Yeah,
just
you'd
like
have to just live there.
around
I mean, I
Toronto.
feel like
Yeah.
that might be like what people think about in Alberta when we say like, yeah, bud.
Oh yeah, for sure,
Oh yeah,
buddy.
for sure, bud. And like anytime an Albertan says that, the other Albertans just that they're talking to immediately starts laughing, because we know how true it is.
Yeah. So in our next single, we're gonna have a no, yeah, for sure, bud, in there somewhere.
Out for it. That's what we'll say.
Just don't for if are you, bud? Anyway, anyone who's not Canadian who's watching this is just gonna be like, what the heck is going on?
Why? Yeah, that. So when you think the Canadians
Sorry.
say A, which we do,
I used to say it a lot more.
yeah, that's another thing that we definitely admit that we say, because a lot of Canadians will deny the fact that we say A. But I have listened to conversations with Chris, with my mom, with some of my older parents, and it's not that we're saying A, it's that we're saying this. Do you like that new mall? Hey? And it sounds like we're saying A because we don't put a huge emphasis on the H.
Yeah, or
But
like
a lot
I
of the
know,
time,
like
I know,
yeah,
hey. Yeah, that's what we
yeah.
say. And I don't even know why we say I know, hey, because that to me, like I say that and I don't know why I say it.
Hmm.
But that's where I think that stereotype
For me,
comes in.
it's when I say like for sure, or when I
Yeah,
say
no
even when I
problem.
say sorry, I'm just like sorry, or
I'm so
like no,
sorry.
yeah, no worries. Like that's just me.
Actually, yesterday on the roundtable, I was interviewing a girl who originally was from BC, but now she lives in LA. And I think she has for a while. But immediately she was like, "Are you from Canada?" And I was like, "Yes." She's like, "Yeah, I can tell by your accent." And I was like, "What accent?" It's like, "Excuse me."
So
But I think she's just used to like the Canadian accent. She knows what it sounds like. So when she hears it, she's like,
yeah.
"Oh, one of my people," you know?
So I mean, props to Drake for not allowing his accent to come through in his music. I
Yes.
appreciate that
So
about
true.
him. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I kind of coming back to the
Mhm.
album. I mean, I appreciate everything that he does on this album. Like, it's probably not one of my favorites, like
No.
of all time, but it's definitely like it's definitely really cool to listen to, and it's a really interesting. I'll say it's a
Mhm.
really interesting sonic experience.
Yeah. It's kind of
Yeah.
like and I know most artists don't really want to hear this, but like it's a good filler album in between, you can't always have albums that are like incredibly amazing. So sometimes you have those filler albums that just kind of like you release them, they're great, the fans love it because they're
Hmm.
your fans, you kind of like it, and then you move on to your
Yeah.
next album. Your next album's like a killer album.
Yeah. So this album, like I said to you, I listened to it when I was kind of getting ready in the morning,
Hmm.
and I found it to be like a really cool kind of calming album. Like it's not really
Yeah, it's very
super
chill.
crazy in your face. It's just kind
Mhm.
of like chill, and
Yeah.
I like chill. I'm
I
down with
think
that.
I think it'd be great to just like kind of like you said you did this morning, but like it'd be great to throw on like when you're cleaning and you're just like not really fully in tune, or like you're hanging out with your friends and it's playing in the background. It's a really good like just sits really well
Hmm.
the way it is.
Yeah, and there's a couple songs on this album that I'm like I would have to stop everything and just like listen to.
Yeah.
Um, and that would be like songs like Deep Pockets, Chicago Freestyle, Desires is
Yeah.
again that's another really really good one.
Yeah.
Um, but Demons is another great one. I don't mind that one.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I just yeah, I think I agree with that. It's just like it for me. It's not my favorite, but I mean, as a general overall,
Hmm.
I think it's well made, well produced. Like
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, to be fair though, a lot of the same drum effects were used in a lot of these
Hmm.
songs, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, like
Well, a stylistic thing. Yeah.
or like a thematic thing
Hmm.
either. So I don't want to say anything to
Yeah.
that, but it was just something that I noticed where it was like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, I heard
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Can we have something different?
Yeah. Give me
Um,
anything, just a little, just a
yeah,
little
but just
something
like
different.
just like that little hi hat. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, we've heard the little hi hat many
Yeah.
times. I
I
get it.
actually I had two kind of songs that I really stuck out to me for like good and bad reasons.
Hmm.
Um the Tootsie Slide is obviously a bop. Um I think the thing that Drake does really well, and this is something similar that Taylor Swift does and a lot of artists do, is they release a song that's a super dancey song. It's a super memeable song. It's a super just like kind of like a joke almost. Like if you think about like Shake It Off, like that's a super not serious kind of song.
Oh yeah.
But they release these songs before the albums comes out. They get all this hype. They get all this attention because Tootsie Slide was released as a single, I'm pretty sure, before the album came out. And it gets like a lot of attention. And like I know Hotline Bling was the same. There was that, the meme where he's like playing tennis when he's doing the dance. And
Yeah.
the whole video itself was like a meme in itself because it was just like so great. And then in My Feelings, there was a whole challenge with that song. So like I think that's a really cool thing that Drake does that, he's really good at with when he releases songs. And it's,
Hmm.
more of his marketing and management team that probably does that. But
Hmm.
and I think the other thing on the other side of the spectrum is the songs I really didn't like on the album were all of the feature songs, like that had features. Most of them,
Mm.
I just didn't like them as much. It's not really that the artists themselves weren't that great. It's just I don't think they shined as much as, you know, some of the solo songs he did or some other feature songs he's done in the past, like with Rihanna. Those ones are always really good. And in the one with The Weeknd. And he did a feature with Chris Brown, who I will not listen to. So I was just immediately like, nope, not even giving it the day and time.
Here's that, and I'm gonna do this.
Just no, thank you.
Just okay.
And it's surprising.
You did that. Have fun.
It's surprising because Drake and Rihanna had this like very close relationship, and I don't know if they're still friends anymore or whatever. But and it just, to me, that would be surprising. I mean, obviously you forgive and you kind of hopefully forget, but that would be like me going and writing a feature song with your ex-boyfriend who was really mean to you, and I'd be like, "Is that okay?" You'd be like,
I'd be like, I guess. I mean, I can't stop you, but it's like.
And he's like, I know he's a celebrity, and it's like, yeah, whatever. They're celebrities, so they have to work together. But it's like, he's not even relevant anymore. Like, Chris Brown is not as relevant as he used to be. So you don't have to write a song with him. You don't have to. You're Drake. You can write with whoever you want to write with.
Yeah, that's another topic for another time.
Yeah.
I feel like a Chris Brown video would be a whole other topic, but very controversial topic.
I will not even talk about him.
But yeah, I also agree with that. I don't know how to feel about that. And again, like you don't know the whole story either. But however, no.
I've seen the photos.
Yeah. So that's the other part of me where I'm just like, I don't know the whole story, but also no.
Yeah. If it is, no.
So,
but overall, I think the album, if I were to give it a grade, I would give it a B-.
Yeah, I was gonna say like C+ or B-.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
you're giving it like a enharmonic grade.
Yeah. Basically.
Where you're like C-, but also B+.
I don't know. I feel like that it's like you said, it's like a really good filler album. Like I don't think it's one of his best albums.
Yeah.
I think like there's a lot of really great songs on it, but as a whole, like it's not as good as this, or what's the thing? The whole sum of its parts thing. Like I like a lot of songs individually, but as a whole, it's not as good. Is it not as good as the sum of its parts or something like that? Like, you know what I mean?
I think so.
Basically, like I like there's like a lot of really good content individually, but together as a whole, as an album, as a concept, I'm just like, I don't know. Like I could have done with these songs being like singles.
Yeah.
Or even just like an EP, you know, would have had like a similar effect to me.
Yeah.
Because it's just, I don't know, for me this doesn't feel like an album. Like it just feels like a really long EP.
Yeah, or like just songs that you worked on that maybe shouldn't have gotten on the album list but just did. You know, like
just, they feel like I don't, that's really mean. I don't want to say that, but there's a Canadian in me coming out. I'm sorry to say this, but I was gonna say some of them feel like afterthoughts. Like these were songs that you weren't sure if you wanted to release, and then you just kind of put them all in an album.
Yeah.
But again, like I said, that's not the case for every single song on this album. That's just like a general overview. But there's a lot of songs on this one that I love. Like I said, I think my favorite ones were Chicago, Freestyle, Deep Pockets, Tootsie Slide was pretty it was pretty cool. Also just the fact that it's just called Pain 1993. I'm just like, I don't know why I vibe with it, but I do. So yeah,
absolutely. So I think if you wanted to check out this album, I would recommend, checking it out when you're having an off day and you want to just relax and clean and just feel your feelings. I would recommend. So that's all the time we have for today. Thank you guys for listening in on our Drake album review. It's a grade. I give it a B-, and Marissa gives it a C+. My name's Millie Rouge.
I'm Marissa Kay, and thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell button to be notified when these shows come out. We release them daily, 6 a.m. MDT, Monday to Friday. And if you're on Spotify, why don't you just hit the little follow button. Hit the little
follow button, and then go listen to Drake's album.
On Spotify. Have a good day, everybody.
Happy Friday. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.